32 feet beneath the surface. That is where they built it. An underground highway connecting two nations, a concrete artery pumping poison into American communities, 800 meters of tunnel carved through desert bedrock by engineers who would never see sunlight during their work. Above ground, nothing suggested its existence. A warehouse on the Mexican side, an industrial building on the American side. Both legitimate businesses on paper, both portals to something far darker in reality. This is DEA Hunter, and this is the story of Operation Subterranean. The first indication came from an unusual source. Ground-penetrating radar deployed for a municipal water project in Otay Mesa, California. The city was mapping underground utilities for a new development. The technician running the equipment noticed an anomaly. A void where solid earth should have been. Linear, structured, definitely not natural. He reported it to his supervisor. The supervisor contacted city planning. City planning had no record of any underground structure in that location, no utility tunnel, no abandoned infrastructure, no legitimate explanation. Within 48 hours, the information reached the DEA. Ground-penetrating radar was deployed again, this time with law enforcement protocols. The void was confirmed, approximately 3 meters in diameter, running northeast to southwest, crossing the international border. The tunnel was real, and based on its trajectory, it connected a warehouse district in Tijuana to an industrial zone in San Diego County. The implications were immediate and alarming. Tunnels of this nature do not appear spontaneously. They require planning, investment, engineering expertise, operational security. Their existence indicates organized criminal infrastructure operating with confidence and resources. Surveillance of the American terminus began immediately. The building was a fruit and vegetable import company, licensed, inspected, operating for 7 years without incident. Trucks arrived daily from Mexican suppliers. Produce was warehoused and distributed to grocery chains throughout Southern California. Nothing about the operation appeared suspicious. Health inspections passed, customs documentation complete, tax records filed. The business generated approximately $4 million in annual revenue, legitimate commerce by every visible measure. But the tunnel endpoint was located directly beneath the warehouse floor. DEA agents established observation from 3 positions: thermal imaging, vehicle tracking, communication monitoring. The picture that emerged over the following 3 weeks was devastating. The produce business was real. The trucks were real. The revenue was real. But beneath the legitimate operation, something else was moving. Every 72 hours, activity patterns changed. Trucks arrived at unusual hours, 3 in the morning. Personnel who never appeared during normal business operations entered the building, stayed for approximately 4 hours, left before dawn. Thermal imaging during these windows showed heat signatures in the basement area. Multiple individuals, significant physical activity. The pattern was consistent with cargo handling, loading or unloading substantial quantities of material. The tunnel was active, and whatever was moving through it was worth extraordinary operational security. What concerns you most about border security? Underground tunnels that bypass surface detection, the sophistication of cartel infrastructure, or the legitimate businesses used as cover? Consider that question as this investigation unfolds. The Mexican side required coordination with federal authorities, diplomatic channels activated, intelligence shared through established protocols. Mexican counterparts confirmed the Tijuana terminus, a maquiladora, a manufacturing facility producing automotive components. Also legitimate on paper, also generating real revenue, also concealing something beneath its floor. The tunnel connected 2 operational businesses, both profitable, both legal, both perfect cover for contraband movement. Surveillance expanded to document the full scope. Over the following 6 weeks, DEA teams mapped the entire operation. The tunnel itself was an engineering marvel, 800 meters in length, 32 feet below the surface at its deepest point, reinforced concrete walls, electrical lighting throughout, ventilation systems maintaining breathable air, a rail system with electric carts for cargo transport, climate control preventing humidity damage to transported goods. Construction had required an estimated 18 months, engineering expertise, mining equipment, electrical infrastructure. The investment exceeded $12 million. This was not improvisation. This was strategic infrastructure built for long-term operation. The capacity was staggering. Each transit could move approximately 400 kilograms of cargo. With transits every 72 hours, the tunnel could theoretically transport over 6,000 kilograms monthly, 72,000 kilograms annually. Based on cartel pricing models, the tunnel represented a revenue potential exceeding $3 billion per year. $3 billion from a hole in the ground that appeared on no map and existed in no database. DEA Hunter has documented many smuggling operations, but the infrastructure investment here indicated something beyond normal trafficking. This was institutional, corporate, built to operate for decades. The investigation revealed the cargo manifest over time. Not all transits carried the same product. Fentanyl moved through the tunnel approximately once per week, quantities ranging from 40 to 60 kilograms per transit. Estimated annual capacity over 2,000 kilograms of fentanyl, 20 billion lethal doses, street value exceeding $300 million. Methamphetamine moved twice weekly, quantities of 100 to 150 kilograms per transit. Annual capacity, approximately 15,000 kilograms, street value exceeding $1.2 billion. Cocaine transited less frequently but in larger quantities, 200 to 300 kilograms when moved. Annual capacity, approximately 8,000 kilograms, street value exceeding $200 million. Heroin rounded out the product line, 50 to 70 kilograms weekly. Annual capacity, approximately 3,000 kilograms, often laced with fentanyl at the destination warehouse. Combined annual drug revenue, approaching $2 billion from this single tunnel. But drugs were not the only cargo. Currency moved south through the tunnel. Cash from American drug sales, returning to cartel leadership in Mexico. Surveillance documented cash shipments exceeding $15 million monthly, $180 million annually. Untraceable, unreported, invisible to the financial system. Weapons moved south as well. American firearms purchased legally or stolen, destined for cartel enforcers. Automatic rifles, handguns, ammunition. The tunnel was an arms pipeline feeding the violence that plagued Mexican border communities. And people moved through the tunnel, not frequently, but documented. Human trafficking victims transported for exploitation. Cartel operatives entering the United States without border inspection. The tunnel served every purpose the cartel required. Here is what made this tunnel different from others that have been discovered. Most smuggling tunnels are crude. Hand-dug passages barely large enough to crawl through. Limited infrastructure, short operational lifespans before detection or collapse. This tunnel was professional, engineered to commercial standards, built to last. The concrete reinforcement would maintain structural integrity for 50 years or more. The electrical systems were redundant. The ventilation exceeded safety requirements. The cartel had built this tunnel the way a corporation builds a factory, with long-term return on investment as the primary consideration, maintenance schedules, operational procedures, quality control. They expected to use this tunnel for decades. They expected it to generate billions in revenue. They expected it to never be found. They were wrong. The tactical operation required coordination unprecedented for a tunnel case. Both American and Mexican authorities would need to move simultaneously. The tunnel could be sealed from either end. If one side was compromised before the other was secured, evidence would be destroyed and suspects would escape. Diplomatic authorization took 3 weeks to secure. Legal frameworks between the two nations required careful navigation. Operational security demanded minimal communication through official channels. The cartel had demonstrated the ability to compromise law enforcement on both sides of the border. 54 agents would participate in the American operation. 47 Mexican federal police would execute the Tijuana raid. Timing would be synchronized to the second. Communication would occur through encrypted channels established specifically for this operation. The date was set, 0400 hours, a Saturday morning. The warehouse would be at minimum staffing. The tunnel transit schedule indicated no movement planned for that night. 72 hours before execution, surveillance detected a change. A transit was being prepared outside the normal schedule. Vehicles arrived at the Tijuana Maquiladora. Activity levels spiked. Thermal imaging showed the tunnel entrance area activated. Something was moving. Tonight, the DEA faced an impossible choice: execute early and risk operational compromise, or wait and allow a major shipment to reach American soil. Intelligence analysis suggested the cargo. The pattern matched previous fentanyl transits. Quantity estimated at 50 to 70 kilograms, 500 to 700 million lethal doses, street value exceeding $10 million. The decision was made within 2 hours. Execute tonight. Coordinate with Mexican counterparts. Compress the timeline from 72 hours to 300 hours. Final briefings conducted via encrypted video conference. American teams staged at 3 locations surrounding the Otay Mesa warehouse. Mexican teams positioned around the Tijuana facility. Communication links tested. Synchronization confirmed. 100 hours. Movement detected at both tunnel entrances. The transit was beginning. Cargo was being loaded onto the rail system. 145 hours. Thermal imaging showed the cargo moving through the tunnel. 6 individuals accompanying. Estimated travel time to American side, approximately 25 minutes. 200 hours. Mexican teams reported ready for execution. American teams confirmed positions. The cargo was mid-tunnel, committed, unable to retreat quickly. 15 hours. The cargo emerged on the American side. 6 individuals, large duffel bags. The tunnel entrance was a hydraulic platform concealed beneath the warehouse floor. It rose silently. The individuals stepped off, began transferring bags to a waiting vehicle. 17 hours. Execution ordered. Both tunnel entrances were breached simultaneously. Explosive charges disabled the security doors. Tactical teams flooded both facilities within seconds. The American warehouse fell without resistance. The 6 individuals transporting cargo were unarmed. Their role was transportation, not protection. Armed security remained in Mexico. They surrendered immediately when confronted by tactical operators. The Tijuana Maquiladora was more contested. 4 armed guards engaged Mexican federal police. The firefight lasted approximately 90 seconds. 2 guards were killed. 2 surrendered when their positions became untenable. 3 officers sustained minor injuries. No fatalities among law enforcement. By 2:30 hours, both facilities were secured. The tunnel was controlled at both ends. Evidence recovery began. Let me tell you what was found inside that tunnel and the warehouses it connected. The cargo in transit that night, 63 kilograms of pure fentanyl, 630 million lethal doses. Street value, approximately $9.5 million. Stored in the American warehouse awaiting distribution. An additional 41 kilograms of fentanyl, 87 kilograms of methamphetamine, and 112 kilograms of cocaine. Combined street value exceeding $40 million. Cash recovered $8.7 million in American currency, bundled and prepared for transport to Mexico. Weapons seized, 14 firearms including 3 automatic rifles, stockpiled for southbound shipment. Documentation recovered, shipping manifests, distribution schedules, contact lists for over 200 dealers across California, Arizona, and Nevada. The tunnel itself was photographed and cataloged before destruction. 800 meters of concrete infrastructure, 47 light fixtures, 12 ventilation fans, 2 electric cargo carts, a sophisticated hydraulic lift system at each terminus. Construction had required the removal of approximately 4,000 cubic meters of earth. That material had been disposed of gradually over 18 months, mixed with legitimate construction debris. Hauled away in trucks that attracted no attention, the engineering drawings were recovered from the Tijuana facility. Detailed plans created by professionals. The tunnel had been built to exacting specifications, every measurement precise, every system redundant. The cartel had employed engineers, electricians, construction workers, project managers. The tunnel was not just a smuggling route, it was a capital project with budgets, timelines, and quality control. The human cost prevented by Operation Subterranean was calculated with precision that still haunts those who compiled the numbers. The 63 kilograms seized in transit represented potential casualties of 12,600 overdoses, 2,500 deaths within weeks of distribution. The additional drugs in storage represented approximately 18,000 additional overdoses, 3,600 additional deaths. Combined immediate impact prevented over 30,000 overdoses, 6,100 deaths. But the ongoing capacity of the tunnel represented far greater harm. Annual fentanyl capacity of 2,000 kilograms translated to 400 million lethal doses annually, 80,000 projected overdoses per year, 16,000 projected deaths per year. By destroying this tunnel and dismantling its operational network, DEA Hunter estimates that 16,000 American lives will be saved annually until equivalent infrastructure can be reconstructed. The cartel will attempt reconstruction. Somewhere along the 2,000-mile border, new tunnels are being planned, new engineers recruited, new cover businesses established. But this tunnel took 18 months to build. This infrastructure took years to establish. This network took decades to develop. Time is the resource that cannot be recovered. Every month of disruption is a month without full capacity. Every year of construction is a year of reduced supply. The subjects arrested faced charges in both nations. American defendants confronted RICO violations, drug trafficking, money laundering, weapons charges. Sentences ranged from 20 years to life imprisonment. Mexican defendants faced their own legal system. The armed guards who survived faced murder charges for the officers they wounded. The operational leadership faced charges carrying 40-year sentences. The tunnel was demolished systematically. Engineers brought in to ensure complete destruction. The concrete was broken. The earth collapsed. The void was filled with rubble and sealed. On the surface, the warehouse remains. Under new ownership now, legitimate produce distribution continues. The workers have no idea what once operated beneath their feet. The maquiladora was seized by Mexican authorities. The automotive component manufacturing continues under government supervision. The tunnel entrance is buried under meters of concrete. Two nations cooperated to destroy something that had taken years to build. Two legal systems prosecuted those responsible. Two communities are safer because of what was accomplished. But DEA Hunter must also report the ongoing reality. Over 200 tunnels have been discovered along the U.S.-Mexico border since 1990. The sophistication increases with each generation. The infrastructure investment grows. The cartels adapt and evolve. This tunnel was discovered by accident, a municipal water project. Ground-penetrating radar operated by someone who was not looking for smuggling infrastructure. How many tunnels remain undiscovered? How many are operating right now, moving drugs and people and money beneath the surface? How many are under construction, waiting for completion? The border stretches nearly 2,000 miles. The cartels have billions of dollars to invest. The demand for drugs has not diminished. Operation Subterranean achieved its objectives. A major infrastructure project was destroyed. Tons of drugs were seized. Thousands of lives were saved. A message was sent. But the message was received by an enemy that does not surrender. That adapts, that rebuilds, that persists. 32 feet beneath the surface, in locations unknown, other tunnels are moving other cargo toward other communities. The fight continues. What surprised you most about this operation? The sophistication of the tunnel infrastructure, the legitimate businesses used as cover, or the billions in annual revenue this single passage generated? Share your thoughts below. How should border security adapt to detect underground smuggling infrastructure? What technologies should be deployed? This has been DEA Hunter, Operation Subterranean. 104 kilograms of fentanyl seized, 6,100 deaths prevented, an 800-meter underground highway destroyed because someone noticed something wrong on a radar screen. Subscribe for more operations. Share this story. Follow DEA Hunter for the investigations that protect your community. Beneath the surface, the battle continues. Above ground, awareness remains our first defense. Stay vigilant, stay informed, stay alive. DEA Hunter, what lies beneath?